one.
This is a public service announcement. The City Council will meet today with all voting members of the City Council remotely by telephonic conferencing system. Some city employees will also be available to participate in the same manner.
Thank you. We have approval of minutes, report of correspondence by city clerk, public hearings, ordinances on second reading. 1, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 5, increase in late fee. 2, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 15, solar installations. 3, an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 2, Emergency Management Council. 4, amend the management salary ordinance. We have nothing on first reading. Resolution 1, approve agenda amendments. 2, approve payroll. 3, authorize refund for redeemed tax sale certificates. 4, approve resolution to adopt the Middlesex County multi-jurisdictional all hazards mitigation plan. 5, approve request for use of city property at Monument Square Park. 6, approve refund of fee to Manuel Ruiz. 7, authorize tax collector to transfer several tax and utility overpayments. 8, authorize refund to Michael Paff. 9, authorize refund to Robert Mills. 10, approve authorization to rebid for property inspection services. 11, approve authorization to rebid for legal advertising. 12, authorize participation in the co-op programs for the fire department. 13, approve amendment of resolution R-102126 with Montana Construction. 14, approve award of contract with Ferguson Holdings. 15, approve renewal of contract with National Vision Administrators. 16, approve Chapter 159 budget insertion. 17, resolution authorizing budget transfers. 18, approve award of contract with Morton Salt. 19, approve award of contract with Maximum Quality Foods. 20, approve award of contract with Garrison Enterprise. 21, approve award of contract with Advanced Rescue Boats and Equipment. 22, authorize application and acceptance of grant with Middlesex County. 23, approve award of contract with Figon Electric. 24, authorize reimbursement to multifamily property owners. 25, authorize purchase by the fire department for a Chevy Tahoe. 26, approve authorization to advertise for Simplex and Hay Street water main service project. 27, approve award of contract with New Jersey Fire Equipment. 28, approve amendment of resolution R-111816 with Mont McDonald. 29, authorize professional services agreement with InSync Municipal Systems. 30, approve person-to-person transfer of liquor license. 31, approve resolution to refer a redevelopment plan for certain properties to the planning board. 32, approve request for street closing at College Avenue. 33, authorize purchase from Martorano Recreation Company. 34, authorize purchase from Compan Inc. 35, authorized purchase from General Recreation. 36, authorized purchase from General Recreation. 37, approve authorization to advertise for Pittman and Feaster Parks project. 38, authorize mayor and city clerk to execute endorsement agreements. 39, authorized purchase from Gray Bar Electric Company. Then we will have discussion by council, OEM COVID update, public comment. The next meeting will take place on Wednesday, December 29th, 4 p.m. And the meeting will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll? And if you're not speaking, can you please put yourself on mute?
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Egan.
Here.
Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Here.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Here. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time and place and conduct of all public meetings of the Municipal Council of the City of New Brunswick, has been filed with the city clerk, has been placed on an appropriate bulletin board and posted in the back vestibule of City Hall, visible to the public through the windows in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News Tribune. Additionally, a 48-hour notice of time, place, and manner of conducting this meeting has been made by the city clerk on December 8th, 2021, as is required by law.
The City Council intends to meet on a regular schedule and will meet the guidelines of the Open Public Meetings Act by utilizing the telephonic conferencing system through which the public may participate. The public is encouraged to call into the conference call system through the phone numbers and access codes transmitted in the 48-hour notice. During the portions of the meeting that are not open for public comment, all callers from the public will be muted. During the public comment period, those who have interest in addressing the council will first be organized by last name and called upon to speak one time and for no longer than 5 minutes during each public comment portion of the meeting. A timer will chime at the completion of each 5-minute period, and the speaker will be notified that their time has expired. Public meeting assistance accessing the call-in number should call City Hall at 732-745-5007.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And kindly join me in a moment of silence to reflect and honor our military personnel and law enforcement officers who dedicate their lives to protect our freedom, safety, and democracy. May God guide them safely in their duties. Thank you.
Motion to accept the minutes?
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Madam Clerk, has the correspondence been directed to the appropriate departments?
Yes, Madam President, the correspondence received by the City Clerk's office has been forwarded to the appropriate departments for further action.
Thank you. We have no public hearings this evening. Ordinances on second reading. The first one is an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title V, Business Licenses and Regulations, Chapter 5.80, Rent Control, Section 5.80.100 for fee. It's an increase in the late fee. And at this time, we're preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through D, E through H, I through L, M through P, Q through T, and letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z, if you wish to speak on this ordinance. Okay. Madam President, the list is now closed.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Motion to move the
Motion.
ordinance?
Oh, second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title 15, Buildings and Construction, Chapter 15.04, Uniform Construction Code, Section 15.04.120D, and this is to add solar PV installations. At this time, again, we're preparing to open the public comment on this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person. Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through D, E through H, I through L, M through P, Q through T, and letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z, if you wish to speak on this ordinance. Okay, the list is now closed. Madam President?
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Next, we have an ordinance to amend and supplement the revised general ordinances of the City of New Brunswick, Title II, Administration and Personnel, Chapter 2.64, Department of Police, Section 2.64.030, Emergency Management Council. At this time, we're preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, can you please prepare a list?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through Z, E through H, I through L.
Charlie Cradaville?
Okay, Mr. Cradaville. M through P.
Danielle Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore. Q through T. And letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z, if you wish to speak on this ordinance. The list is now closed. Madam President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Cradaville. Can you please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record?
Good evening, Madam Council President. Charles Cradaville from the 2nd Ward of New Brunswick, spelled Kratovil. And I wanted to ask what prompted this ordinance and what is changing versus the existing language on the books today.
What prompted this is that it's a volunteer position as of now, and the time and energy that it takes to run this, unfortunately, with all of the storms that we've been having and those type of things that they would handle, it far exceeds what a volunteer would need to do. So it's a created position. They will chair that management council, and it's a civilian position within the police department.
Okay, now I'm very confused. So we're talking about the emergency management coordinator job, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so that so I guess the language that's on the books today says that that person's has to be a volunteer. Is that correct?
What, Mr. Julis, maybe you can help me with this. I don't know if there would be a difference between volunteer or that it was just absorbed into someone else's duties.
Sure. So the language in the ordinance that's being amended says the person would serve without compensation. That's being struck.
Thank you.
Thank you for the direct answer there. Yeah. So it's my understanding this position has been held by one of, if not the highest paid municipal employees, Fire Director Robert Rawls. You can't get by without an emergency management coordinator. Someone has been in the role. And so I guess now what I'm gathering from your remarks, Council President, is that a new person is going to take over that role, and if your next ordinance on your agenda passes, that will set the pay for that employee who will now come from the police department, I'm hearing? Is that correct?
I think it comes out of the police department budget. It's a civilian position, though. Is that correct, Mr. Jules?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Okay.
And yes, you are correct with everything else you said, Mr. Cradaville.
Thank you, Council President. And is there a civilian in mind that the city has? Is someone ready to take on the position?
Not at this time. I think they were waiting for the process to play out to make sure we have the position in order before they start addressing who they want to put in it. And that's my understanding at this time.
Okay, so somebody they haven't been hired yet. They still have to hire someone to do it, or is it going to be an existing police employee? Correct. Which one? Is it going to be a new hire?
I believe it's going to be a new, yes. I believe it's going to be a new hire. Yeah.
Okay, and I, for the record, I do think it's good to have an emergency management point person who's not also dealing with other day-to-day responsibilities. I will say that I think that the Emergency Management Council should have public meetings and should have, at the very least, open line of dialogue with the news media, including New Brunswick Today, in terms of getting the word out in an emergency. It's super important to have a good dialogue, a good relationship with all of the media outlets covering the community, including ours. As you know, I'm the editor of New Brunswick Today, so I would like to see a role for us to play in this committee, commission, council, whatever you want to call it. I know in the past we've done reporting on how it used to say that they had public meetings, but there were no public meetings actually taking place. In fact, some people who were on the council didn't know that the council existed. I know we've been through some very severe emergencies since then, and so I think it's likely in a better place right now. But the truth is that it's all behind the scenes and secretive, so the public doesn't really know to the extent that this 15-person council is having meetings or not, what decisions they're making, and perhaps going along with the transition to having a new separate person in charge of municipal emergency management. Hopefully they can foster some more transparency and public engagement, including with the news media and including with New Brunswick Today. So those are my thoughts on the ordinance. Thank you for answering my questions.
Thank you, Mr. Craddock.
Madam President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, can you please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record?
Good evening, Danielle Moore, M-O-O-R-E, Somerset Street. Well, first question I do have is Director Ross retiring or going to a lower position or something?
No, he is not.
So basically, what is the purpose that this is leaving his hands going into someone else's hands? What is the reason why?
Because it's becoming a paid position with someone who can devote full time to it and doesn't have other responsibilities.
Okay, so his hands is full due to where all the other work he does. Okay, which I do understand that. So basically, due to where are you going to have to really pass a test, take a class on this due to where this will, you're saying it's probably going to be from the police department, but due to where, what, are they going to have to take lessons or learn something different from other than being a police officer to go to this position?
This is not a police officer position. It's a civilian position that comes out of the police department budget. It has nothing to do with the police officers at all.
Okay, so thank you. It just comes out the police department's budget. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Okay.
Oh, no,
and like I will say that, like Mr. Charlie Craddock mentioned, due to where I hope where I heard you say this is based on like being with Stormwise and all, I hope due to where it will be also included into this to really alert people more on things in New Brunswick, because like I said, really I don't feel for an emergency with Hurricane Ida that, believe me, New Brunswick was warned deep enough of certain things. So I hope with whoever does take this over, look into, like I said, sounding alarms or whatever, giving out alerts, letting the public really know what the emergency is, and just not being quiet about it. But thank you. My other questions were answered already. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any other speakers?
No, Madam President.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Yes.
Council President Secor Ludwig.
Yes. I'm getting a lot of feedback. I don't know if anybody else is getting that.
We are, Council President, and
Yes.
maybe if we could ask folks who aren't speaking to microphones, make sure you're muted. We would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have, number 4 is to amend the management salary ordinance for 2020 to 2022 to add municipal emergency management coordinator. At this time, we're preparing to open the public hearing on this ordinance only for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, can you please prepare a list?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on this ordinance, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through Z, E through H, I through L.
Charlie Cradaville.
Okay, Mr. Cradaville. M through P.
Danielle Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore. Q through T. And letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call if you wish to speak on this ordinance. Okay, the list is now closed. Madam President, the first person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Mr. Cradaville, go ahead.
Yes, good evening once again. Charles Cradaville, New Brunswick Today. I'd like to follow up. Of course, this is the ordinance setting a salary for the new position of emergency management coordinator. Can you tell us what the expectation is of, is this a full-time or a part-time position? About how many hours a week is the person going to be expected to work?
I believe it's a full-time position, but Mr. Drulis, if you could help me with that, I'm not 100% sure.
Sure. It's actually, the title is Municipal Emergency Management Coordinator. And the reason that's important because that is a civil service recognized title. And the civil service title has a full job description, including the tasks that one would think would be involved in this role. We are going to move through with all processes and interview candidates and work off of the titles on the civil service form. I don't have it in front of me, but it could easily be downloaded from the internet, Mr. Cradaville.
Yeah, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I guess I'm not totally sure why this is falling under the police department, but that is the plan, correct? It's going to be a civilian employee of the New Brunswick Police Department?
That was in the ordinance prior to this change, and so nothing's changing in that perspective, in that regard.
Okay. And I guess, the salary range, what is it exactly for this position, and do you feel that it's sufficient in the current job market to get the caliber of person that is needed for this really important job in a significant city like New Brunswick?
So salary range.
The salary range.
Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Council President, your meeting. I apologize.
No, that's okay. The salary range is $30,000 to $69,000.
Mm-hmm. And do you feel that that's sufficient in this climate to get somebody with the experience and, credentials that you would want?
I do feel it's appropriate, and I believe they probably researched and were able to set the salary range with that in mind.
Okay. And is there a time frame for when the person might be hired and when they might start?
That I'm not aware of at all. Mr. Julis, is there a time frame?
So should this ordinance pass tonight, and it get the necessary advertising and sign off by the mayor, of course, then we'd be able to probably take action on the hiring in the beginning of January, middle of January.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Well, I'll be watching this closely, and thank you again for answering my questions.
Of course.
Okay, Madam
Who's
President,
next?
the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, first question I would like to ask and try to understand a little more. Okay, due to where you're saying this is going to be more like a regular time job, a position, meaning about 8 hours, are you saying like a regular, like you would do a regular job?
Yeah,
Council President, if I just to add to that, if you don't mind.
of course.
I think when the Council President referencing the full time, the point is it'll be a full focus, a singular focus on this committee. The time when it comes to emergency management, while as much as we want to know our schedule is set, this is a position where there's evenings obligations, there's training obligations, community engagement. So Ms. Moore may have more questions regarding scheduling and such, but this position requires more than just being at a desk.
Okay, so thank you for saying that. Now, my next point is I'm glad where you said that. So basically, due to where emergencies, due to where I heard like sort of storms, different things can come at any time. So will this person be on call at any time for a huge emergency or something to happen? If you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, they would.
So, okay, basically, there's no time schedule due to where with an emergency. So on call at all times for emergency. Okay, great to understand and hear with that. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Move the ordinance.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Councilmember Egan,
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming,
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar,
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. At this time, we're preparing to open the meeting to public comment on the resolutions only, 5 minutes per person. Up. Madam Clerk, will you please prepare a list for us?
Madam President, if I may, first.
Of course.
I didn't have a chance to check it out, but resolution number 35,
Yes.
about the authorization for the park benches and the trash receptacles for Pittman and Feaster Park.
Yes.
Assuming that the park benches will be in some way, shape, or form tied down, cemented in, that they will be carefully looked at to make sure people aren't just lolling about and sleeping there during the night so that people can sit down. Just worried about the people and the enforcement of that. Is that all been taken care of or will be?
Mr. Jules, has that been addressed? I know they're still implementing plans for it at this point, but Anderson, and I'm not sure if anything like that was addressed yet, but I would assume it to be at the top of the list to install benches. Is that a fair assumption, Mr. Jules?
It is, and if you'd like me to add more, I can.
Of course.
There are a number of items on here that are advanced purchases related to the park. There are significant supply chain issues affecting the city's ability to move forward on large-scale projects. And so we are doing as much procurement as we can in anticipation of the spring season for construction. But our purchasing is always looking through the same lens in terms of making sure that we have the right equipment that could be best utilized wherever it's installed. So, Councilman Anderson, we hear what you're saying, and we will apply the same measure in this purchase as we do in all our public spaces.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all, Councilman Anderson?
Yes, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, can you please prepare a list for us?
Yes, Madam President. If any members of the public wish to speak on the resolutions only, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through D. E through H. I through L.
Charlie Cradaville.
Okay, Mr. Cradaville. M through P.
Danielle Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore.
Yeah.
Q through T.
I'm going to talk to you tomorrow about doing that.
Krista.
That makes sense.
I'm sorry, can you please repeat your name?
Krista. Jersey Watcher YouTube channel.
Makes
Krista?
sense.
Thank you.
Chris,
And then the one guy brought the block today, but he,
Letters U through Z. Is there anyone A through Z who wishes to address the council? This will be the last call, A through Z, if you wish to speak on the resolutions only. All right, the list is now closed. Madam President, the first person on the list is Mr. Christo.
Thank you. Mr. Kristoff, you could please spell your last name and give us your address for the record?
The law doesn't require me to give my last name or my address. Just allows me to speak. I already addressed myself as Christo.
This is Crystal Macropolis from Fox Road, Edison.
I did not say that. You said that.
I asked if it was, if that's who you were.
makes sense.
If
I
that was
feel
your
that's
address.
inappropriate. I feel that's inappropriate what you just did. I think you just doxed me. You know.
Some strange nowadays.
You know, may
Can
I
you
please
give us your
continue?
name?
I
Spell
already
your
gave
last
you my
name and give us,
the
you didn't
law
spell your
doesn't-
last name.
I don't have to spell my last name. The law doesn't require me to spell my last name or give my address. It says when it's the public's time to speak, please allow them to speak. May I continue?
Mr. Shammy,
Is that
can you give me
counsel?
some direction here? Mr. Shammy.
Yes, Madam Council President, if the caller doesn't want to identify himself by his real name, if he identifies himself by whatever name he identifies himself, for purposes of the record, we will note it in the minutes of the meeting. The purpose of identification is so that we know who the callers are, so it could be accurately reflected in the minutes of the meeting. But if this is what he says his name is, then his name is Christo, then his name is Christo for purposes of the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Shammy. Go ahead.
No, I don't care what he says. Remember, at the end of the day, I'm protecting your interests here.
I just thought it was a little high.
Can you please mute yourself if you're not speaking at this time? And Mr. Macropolis, please go ahead with your questions on the resolutions.
But also still
Thank you. I apologize. I thought this was the public comment portion. So I'm gonna come back.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President, the next person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Mr. Kraft, go ahead.
Please dial *6 to unmute yourself.
Hi there, Charlie Cradaville. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. I'll use the item number, the numbers in the item number column, starting with number 4, All Hazards Mitigation Plan.
Okay.
Can we just hear a little bit about some of the items in the All Hazards Mitigation Plan, what that encompasses?
Just a little detailed. I'm going to ask Director Rawls if he could please speak to this. Director Rawls, are you on the call, or is Mr. Allen on the call?
I am on the call. All Hazard Mitigation Plan is a plan that each city must have submit to the county. This details the vulnerable areas in our cities and the areas that we consider that need closer watch on and more implementation into upgrading those systems, like areas like we did as far as in the water department when we upgraded with the generators and all of those things. Those are the type of things in All Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Thank you, Director Rawls.
Thank you for that answer. I'll move on to number 11. Why is the city have to rebid for an official newspaper? Are you in danger of not having an official newspaper come January?
No, the response wasn't in time, and they just have to rebid to make sure it's done properly.
Thank you. I'll move on to number 30, is the Clyde's liquor license transfer. Can perhaps the clerk tell us the amount of the sale?
Madam Clerk, do you have that information available?
Yes, Madam President. The amount for the liquor license itself is $150,000.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And moving on, the next one, 31. Can somebody tell me a little bit about what areas are encompassed in this redevelopment plan? I believe it's the area near the Sears. Does it include the Sears, and what is this plan proposing?
These two pieces right now are just for 35 Labor Center Way and 45, 49, and 55 U.S. Highway 1, and they are the areas surrounding the Sears property, and they're going to be looking at them and making a recommendation to the planning board. So particulars on that we do not have at this point.
Okay, so this is just designating the area a redevelopment area. Is that what you're doing?
Looking at to see if they want to designate it, yes.
Gotcha.
See if it will be included.
Thank you. And finally, I want to ask about number 38, the cannabis businesses. I see 3 have been selected. What can you tell me about these businesses and where they'll be located, and why these applications were successful compared with others that you might have received?
And I didn't receive that particular backup on this. Is this something that you can speak to, Madam Clerk?
I believe Madam Council President, Mr. Dominguez could respond. He has been point on these applications.
Thank you, Mr. Dominguez, if you wouldn't mind.
Certainly. So as of last time when we had our competitive proposals, we were allowing up to 4 endorsements in the industrial section of town for non-retail uses, so inclusive of cultivation, manufacturing, delivery, et cetera. And we only received 1 qualified applicant for those 4 at the time. So we had 3 left over. We had a quick application process from last week, and the applications were received on Monday of this week for turnaround, as today was the first day that the state began to take applications for such non-retail uses. The reason we scored them on a competitive basis based on their willingness, on their ability to have site plan control, their willingness to hire minority and women ownership, their financial situation, as well as some other factors. These three were we received 4 applications, 3 of which met or exceeded our standards, and those are the 3 we're recommending to proceed on to request from the state licensure, should the state be willing to give it to them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dominguez, and your time is expired, Mr. Cradaville, but thank you for your comments and questions.
Madam President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, go ahead.
Please dial *6 to unmute yourself if needed.
Hi, yes, can you hear me now?
Yes,
hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I will continue on to what Mr. Anderson was saying, speaking about Pittman Park. Can you please, it's good to see that all this is to be done over to Pittman Park and Feasters Park. But how can you guarantee once you put these benches over there for seats that it's not going to draw the homeless back again? Because basically, all throughout New Brunswick, all keeps being done is what? You move a homeless from one location, they just go to another location. How? And believe me, due to where I know with that part from this summer, due to where I was investigating a lot of things, wow, it has too many heroin needles over there. So please, how are you going to tell me to really guarantee once you do put benches over there and do all the work over there that this is going to be safe for a child to be around?
Well, we will be looking at all avenues while we're designing, and we will ensure the safety of the people at the parks over there. I don't think we're going to do anything that will intentionally put anybody in harm's way. This needs to be something that we'll be looking at when we do the design phase of it.
Well, believe me, like I have it on video due to where basically where it was taped off before. They said it was a crime scene. Then the detectives were saying, "Wow, look at all those heroin needles over there." So, like I said, believe me, I hope you really, even though, like I said, it would be lovely to turn Pittman Park, do something for it. But like I said, until you get the drugs and homeless under control, I don't really see that as safe for a child even really being in that part. Now, like I said, sure, Feasters Park, more to be done. But like I said, sure, the homeless leave for 2 weeks and then they'll return again to another location. But I just don't see why you're going to put benches over there to be sitting down due to where it's going to draw more attention. And I don't believe it'll be for children. And a question I do have so far is with the sprinkler system for the sprayer for Feasters Park. Would you be able to tell me what location that it would be put down in? Due to where my concerns is, it's already a situation where I had spoke on a meeting before. Every time it rains and it floods, how the water it is just already running off too much over there. I know that's a bad situation. The same thing with Joyce Comer Park. But I hope with this system, due to where you do find a better way where it won't be causing a situation with the water just running, making it where people can't even walk down the street. So I hope you do look into that, due to where I spoke to Mr. Tom Valently on the situation already, due to where it's something with that park, the way the water runs off already. So I hope you do inspect and putting it in the right location, not causing another situation as far as with too much water running off over there, as just like you have at Joyce Comer Park. I have to say over at excuse me, I was starting to say Pine Tree Park, but the recreation park over off of George's Road, due to where that sprinkler system, it doesn't have a problem with making flood zones. So with this one, even though we appreciate anything, but I still hope you look into the situation where too much water running off and too much water being wasted, as like in Joyce Comer Park. My last one is number 23, due to where if you can name some of the locations where traffic signals will be upgraded, due to where I know that, wow, still waiting on French, Lewis, and Sedan to be done, due to where the signals are going dead over there. It's not telling you when to walk or don't walk. You have so many systems that are out in New Brunswick where it doesn't tell you to walk or don't walk, that needs to be upgraded. But if you can tell me, what is this just for one area or throughout the New Brunswick of fixing so many of them?
No, this is definitely more than one area. I believe Lewis and Hamilton is on this list, but Mr. Valenti, do you have any more specifics?
Yes, good evening, Mrs. Council President. This is a total of 12 signals, and what the project does is we're going to rewire the existing signals from the base of the existing pole up to the fixture or the traffic signal itself. The signals will be replaced, as well as if they are currently equipped with don't walk and walks symbols, those will also be replaced. They're all going to be LED fixtures, and the wiring, again, from the ground up is going to be rewired. And it's a total of 12 existing signals in town. This will eliminate the balance of signals that are still incandescent bulbs. These will be all LED. They're brighter. They consume 1/8 the power, and they have 10 times the life of each of the signals.
Thank you, Mr. Valenti, and thank you for your comments, Ms. Moore. Your time has expired. Thank you.
Council President,
Yes.
may I add a little more information regarding Feaster Park and Pittman Park?
Yes.
Particularly to Councilman Anderson's questions. The park design contemplates information given to us through the Trust for Public Lands survey of the area and public input. And one of the big considerations in the design phase, which is being finalized, is the safety of the park, and to make sure that folks feel comfortable and they're attracted to want to go there and always feel comfortable. To Ms. Moore's question regarding storm runoff, water runoff, one of the reasons this park is taking longer in design phase is because it has a significant investment as it relates to stormwater runoff. So I think these are all great questions, and just wanted to give a little more information that I had available.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And now we'll go on to council. Oh, we have to move those?
Yes.
Move to resolutions.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes, I'm going to abstain on number 38, so yes, and I'll abstain on 38.
Duly noted. Councilmember Fleming.
Yes. What about me?
It's Councilmember Egan. I apologize.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Councilmember Fleming.
Yes, again.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. And now I don't really have much that I want to address this evening. I do want to wish everybody Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I did want to say that, and that was the only thing I wanted to make a statement about. Council Vice President Escobar, do you have anything you'd like to say tonight?
Yes, thank you. I just want to remind the public, and there's a few activities going on this weekend in New Brunswick for the kids as the holiday season is upon us. On Saturday, there's Selfies with Santa, the New Brunswick Performing Arts from 11 to 1. We also have a walk-through holiday festival for children at the Sudan Street Reformed Church. We've been doing this for 20 plus years. And this event is sponsored by Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital, along with the New Brunswick Police and the Latino firefighters of Central Jersey. And also on Sunday, the Winter Wonderland that we have also is the first time that the city is doing this, so this is great. And it's going to be at the Youth Sports Center from 12 to 6. So there's a lot of activities for the children, and the community should be able to take advantage of these great events this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Councilman Anderson, do you have any comments you'd like to make this evening?
Yes, I'd just like to congratulate all the student athletes who are getting awards and accolades as they finish up their seasons here. Also, whatever it might be, whether it's a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, or Happy Holidays, or Hanukkah for everybody, to try and enjoy the holidays and give respect to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Egan, do you have any comments this evening?
Pretty much the same. I wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Best of luck in the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilman Fleming, do you have anything you'd like to address this evening?
Yeah, just briefly, there was an incident 2 times this week at the school, at the high school, where there was a threat called in, and parents were worried, and it's a serious situation, which we need to take all threats serious. But that's not, the incident is just not happening in New Brunswick. It's been happening all over the state, where sometimes kids feel like they're being bullied or they want to cause a public alarm. There's various reasons that this can happen. Every parent wants to feel like when they send their kids to school, they're going to be safe. And we just want to rest assured that everybody in New Brunswick, according to the investigation, there has been an arrest, but hopefully that this will stem the tide of something like that happening again. And hopefully there'll be a better chain of command. I'm not saying it was bad, but just to communicate with the parents when something like this happens. You know, most schools do go into lockdown, and some of the worst times to try to come into the school is when the school goes on lockdown. But I just wanted to rest assured that any of the parents that are still concerned, I mean, it's legitimate concerns. You know, it's legitimate concerns because this can happen in schools all the time. We've seen where threats have gone into action, unfortunately. But just to make sure that everybody's trying to be safe, to make sure the safety of the children come first, and that the schools are going to make sure that all the schools are safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Fleming. And now I'd like an OEM update, COVID update from Director Rawls, if you would, please.
Sure. Okay. The numbers are continuing to rise in COVID here. There was a spike seen, especially since the Thanksgiving holiday. So we're asking that everybody continue to practice the protocols during the Christmas and New Year's Eve upcoming holidays. Also, some of our surrounding states are re-implementing mandatory COVID protocols. And so be on the lookout for what's going to be going on in the state of New Jersey upcoming. Vaccines, boosters, and COVID-19 testing are available locally. Please visit the state or the City of New Brunswick website for locations. And then finally, we're just asking that we all continue to observe COVID-19 protocols so that we all can remain safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. At this time, we're preparing to open the meeting for public comment for up to 5 minutes per person, one time up. Madam Clerk, can you please prepare a list for me?
Yes, Madam President. If any member of the public wishes to address the council, please state your name when the appropriate letter of the alphabet is called. Callers on the line ending in 0704 will need to dial *6 to unmute themselves. Letters A through D. E through H. Yes.
C.
Okay, C. Letters I through L.
Marge Carver.
Okay, I have Ms. Kerber and Mr. Cradaville.
Thank you.
Letters M through P.
Danielle Moore.
Letters, okay, Ms. Moore, I have you. Letters
Thank
Q
you.
through T. Is there anyone else, A through Z, who wishes to address the council? Please, Mr. Paul,
Speaking.
A through Z. If you wish to address the council on the public portion of this meeting. All right, the list is now closed. Madam President, the first person on the list.
I'm having a hard time hearing. Please mute your phones if you're not speaking. Do we have somebody to mute phone, Mr. Drulis?
Council President, we're going to attempt to mute all the public lines. All the public lines are. Councilors to check your phone. It seems that the sound has gone. Maybe we can, Mr. C, could you please unmute yourself again? And the Council President, I think we can carry forward if you'd like.
Thank you.
Hello.
Mr. You can go ahead with your comments.
Christo, South Edison, am I recognized?
Yes.
Okay. Number one, I'd like to know who the lady is from earlier who doxed me, my full name, my full address, and, you know, because I just think that's a little bit strange, you know. Do you carry everybody's full name and addresses in your back pocket, or who was that government official?
People give us their full name and address. Yes, I do.
No, but you happen to know mine without even me giving it up. Who is that government official? Can I have their name, please?
Of course, I'm the council president. My name is Council President Socorro Ludwig. That's how you can address me. And you were on the planning board meeting the other night with us, and that's how I knew who you were. So there's no crazy story there.
God bless you. Happy holidays. And I just want to say, you know, as a Christian, I'm very proud because Jussie Smollett got exposed. All the lies of the CNN, the radical leftist extremist media, it's all coming to a close. This is the same CNN who denounces Trump, that calls all white people white supremacists. I just want to say this. This is the same CNN. Their producer was arrested by the FBI and accused of trying to recruit moms and their underage daughters for sexual training. This is the news organization that your party, the Democratic Party, you guys worship this as if it's a god or something, you know. I just want to say also, you know, everything that's going on, you guys, you saw on Channel 12, that racist radical from Elizabeth, Kason Little. It's absolutely disgusting that Channel 12 News, that this is what they're putting up on the TV. This is what they put up on the TV. For over 2 years, we have these radicals showing up to these meetings, Jimmy Dabrowski, Kason Little. Why aren't they called racist or extremists by Channel 12 News? You got 3 white people that show up to a meeting, and were very polite, started no trouble with nobody, only to be called racist, extremist, or at least insinuated, painted that way by Channel 12 News. I want to let you guys know, you guys can slander your enemy with the worst labels imaginable. Every day, we're getting these small victories, these very small victories, and very soon, your whole party, nobody's not even going to vote for you anymore. I hope Trump wins again, so this way we can take our government officials, we can have our meetings in the public square. So this way we can throw our shoes at you guys, all that good stuff, apples. How much time do I have left, Council President, Mr. Cora?
I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, how much time is left?
1 minute and 36 seconds.
So God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. Look at all those idiots that they voted for sleepy, creepy Joe Biden. I mean, this is the same sleepy, creepy. He supported ISIS in Syria with Obama, with Hillary. He supported the neo-Nazis in Ukraine. $6 billion USA tax dollars given to neo-Nazis in Ukraine to overthrow a democratically elected government. And you people claim to be the champions of democracy. I want to let you know this. These small victories we're having, like Jussie Smollett being exposed, all of that, it's all going to, Charlie, New Brunswick today, I hope you're listening, because, you know, this radical left-wing news networks, it's going to be a thing of the past. Nobody wants to hear from you people no more. You guys might have your the zombies that drink all that fluoride and stuff, but I want to let you know this. All these people have taken their vaccine, and they only got maybe a few years left to live now. Because that vaccine, it doesn't cure you from nothing, but you have a lot to lose. So I used to tell people, hey, don't take the vaccine. It's going to kill you. Now I'm just like, you know what, screw it. Just go around and tell all your enemies, you know what, you should start taking the vaccine. That's what I think the Democrats have been doing all this time. And that the Democrats consider we, the public, as their enemies, so that's why they're going around telling everyone to take the vaccine. I guarantee you none of you really took that damn vaccine.
Thank you for your comments, sir. Who's next on the list?
Madam President, the next person on the list is Ms. Marge Kerber.
Thank you. Ms. Kerber, can you please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address for the record?
Sure. Marge Kerber. I think you need to get to mute that guy that was on before. But anyway, Marge Kerber, Comstock Street in New Brunswick. And I'm a little bit speechless, but I'll try to speak. Sorry. My comment is about a handicapped parking space in downtown New Brunswick on Kirkpatrick Street. Okay, it is in zone 6580, and it's space number 1. And I believe it's supposed to be a handicapped spot. The problem is that there is no sign to indicate that it's handicapped, number 1. And number 2, the designation on the pavement itself to show that it's handicapped has almost disappeared. So it needs, if it is indeed handicapped, it needs to be repainted, and also there needs to be a sign there, okay? I am handicapped. I have been parking there, but there's other people that are parking there that are not handicapped. So I just want to know if it is a handicapped spot, and if so, if you can take care of making sure that it is designated as such. And that's my only comment.
I will call. No, Ms. Kerber, I will call the parking authority in the morning, and I will make sure I have an answer for you, and, you know, just to make sure that that is a handicap spot, and if it does need to be repainted and there's no sign there, we will address it.
Okay, I appreciate that. If somebody could call me and let me know, I'd appreciate that too. That way I won't wait. Okay, thank you so much. Oh, happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. God bless.
You too.
Madam President, the next person on the list is Mr. Charlie Cradaville.
Thank you. Mr. Cradaville, the floor is yours.
Please dial *6 to unmute yourself if needed.
Thanks. Charlie Cradaville, New Brunswick today. Want to ask about the cabinet, the mayor's cabinet. Has anybody, decided that they're resigning or retiring of the department heads?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay.
No, not that I'm aware.
Okay. Council President, can you tell me how many body-worn cameras have been deployed by the New Brunswick Police Department?
0.
Oh, my gosh. Any idea
Training
when?
Yes, it's the same answer as I gave you last time. Training is underway now, and they will be deploying them after the first of the year.
Okay. I want to talk a little more about emergency management. I think that the city really is lacking in terms of clear policy on how to communicate important news to the public. I see, for instance, there was a boil water advisory this week. The Nixle system was used to alert people to the water main break, but not the boil water advisory, which was announced on other channels that the city controls. And there's just not really any rhyme or reason to why certain messages are being, siloed in only certain channels and not shared more widely. For instance, this week the school district had some messages that they were choosing not to share on social media. So New Brunswick Today was resharing things that were being texted or put out through other channels. And there's just really poor coordination and no logical reason for why certain things are only going out certain places. So I hope that whoever is hired will take this on immediately. I also want to understand what the policy is for shootings because, we've seen sometimes the city use its Facebook page to alert people to shootings, but I'm coming across other instances of shootings that aren't being shared, and it just, again, seems like there's no rhyme or reason. But I want to talk about another form of communication from the police department, the one that I asked you about gun violence, firearm facts, and there's a false statement in this thing that was posted to the city website with no name on it. And so I want to ask Deputy Director Miller, is he the author of that statement? And has the New Brunswick Police Department apologized to the family of the deceased, specifically Azim Seawright, who it was implied that he knew his victim and was well acquainted, his murderer, that he was well acquainted with him, and it was implied that, drug deals, drug turf battles, gang involvement, retaliation for past aggressions, and family-related disputes might be implicated in his death. But, of course, that was not the case, and the city has subsequently released a shootings update that hasn't been shared through the same channels that the original announcement was. So I'd like to understand who authored that initial statement with the error in it, and has the NBPD apologized?
Deputy Director Miller is not on the call, and I would suggest that you put that in writing and send it to him in an email asking for that information. It isn't something that the council wrote or approved or put on the website, and I just don't have the answer for you, Mr. Cradaville.
I understand. I'm very concerned about the police department putting out messages without a name on them and putting them out through the city's channels. This was not on the PD Facebook page. This was shared through the city without it being clear that it was coming from the police. Only after I asked it at a prior meeting and you got the information for me, did you say it was from the police? But we still don't know who in the police department authored it, approved it, and I think these are questions that the council should want to know. I also just want to close by saying that I missed your last meeting, and a few other people did because of an error in the meeting agenda from the prior meeting that said that the next meeting was going to be 5:30, and for some reason it was at a different time than usual, 5, and we all missed it. So don't take that to mean that everyone was content and didn't feel the need to come out and speak up. We do, and we'll continue to do that. And to that end, I do want to just close by finding out when your next meeting is. I know you have one more, and also encourage people to come to the next Board of Ed meeting on the 21st, where hopefully some of these issues will be addressed there. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Can you just tell me when your next meeting is?
Yes, the 29th at 4 p.m.
Madam President, the next person on the list is Ms. Danielle Moore.
Thank you. Ms. Moore, can you hear me?
Please dial star
Hi,
6
yes.
to unmute your.
Yes, can you hear me?
Go ahead, Ms. Martin. Yes, go
Well,
ahead.
first, I would like to just start off saying, wow, what a disappointment with Captain Miller not being at the meeting due to where, wow, that just proves guilt of everything whenever something involves with New Brunswick Police Department, how he's never at the meetings. And it's very, very sad. But like I said, it just shows guilt. Even though I will say thank you to him for returning a call about 2 weeks ago that I made regards to requesting more police departments at the New Brunswick High School due to where all these fights that have been going on. And as I will say thank you to Sergeant Bobadilla for taking the time to look at my evidence and listen to me after what? Your street climbers and New Brunswick Police Department accused me of causing all those people to come out there and where the parents were scared just because when they arrived, they saw me doing the video. I was on George Street doing my therapy walk where 2 police cars saw me on the corner right by Rite Aid, George and Patterson. Other police cars saw me on over by Dunkin' Donuts and then going my walk. And then I got an alert saying, ooh, all New Brunswick Police Force at New Brunswick High School, a shooting threat. And then due to where people texting me saying, wow, the police department never even showed up. And the students said the same thing. Wow, do you really think that, that we think that it's safe to send our kids to school after the last situation with the fighting 2 weeks ago, where how Dr. Johnson lied, said, oh, nothing happened at the school. Then 6 hours later sends a text message to the parents stating, oh, yes, it was an incident after all the videos made it public on Facebook. Wow, do you really think, we can really trust with New Brunswick Police Department and the Board of Education of lying? Of saying what's going on and what's being done? Due to how all these other locations made it to the news channel, but the New Brunswick, never, you always hide it. Why? And it's very disappointing. Like I said, it just shows guilt. Like I said, whenever something needs to be towards the police department, how Captain Miller is always out, whether it's regard to the cameras or whatever, or shooting, he's never there. But like I said, that's just guilt. And like I said, due to where New Brunswick would be a better place, where it's time for Mayor Cahill to go, Captain Miller and Caputo to go, due to where, like I said, it's not being run the right way by the law. And do they follow the law? No, they don't. And it is very disappointing. But like I said, due to where, it's very nerve-wracking. Due to where, yesterday was the anniversary, 9 years of those 20 kids getting shot in Connecticut. Wow, do you think that we're still not nervous to send our kids to school? And like I said, do you think that I really think that New Brunswick Police Department took it seriously? No, they did not, because like I said, they didn't arrive on scene until after the parents started going crazy over wondering what was going on with their kids, where the kids were sending their messages to their parents. And it's just sad. I say New Brunswick Police Department needs to do a better job with New Brunswick. It's never been like this before. It's because why? They're not doing anything. And one thing I will tell you that I'm nervous about, please, stop it with New Brunswick Police Department, and I will make an announcement. It needs to stop. When New Brunswick, for a black person, you couldn't have jet black tinted windows. Why are you allowing all these vehicles? Only New Brunswick. I go through Metuchen, Edison every day. No, you don't see it. Come on, someone with a restraining order you have against you to where can be sitting right next to you that's not supposed to be near you, or before a black person couldn't ride in the car, how you would get ticketed, you would get your car towed. But wow, what does New Brunswick do today? Nothing. It's like, nobody even respects the police anymore. They're going to police officer. I don't care. Please, New Brunswick Police Department needs to start taking more things seriously. I will give them credit on one thing that I have to say. I do see the cases are being solved a lot better and faster. It's good that it's not taking a year to 5 years to find out who did what. But come on, New Brunswick Police Department can do a much better job than they are. It's just very disappointing after being, like I said, how the Board of Education really set the police department up for all the parents to get mad at the police department. If you did not hear the videos of what Dr. Johnson or the text messages that went out, then please, stop assuming until you hear the evidence and see the evidence. Well, what type of liar we have at Board of Education, and that's why the parents are very upset due to why you saw the parents going.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. First, I just want to address Deputy Director Miller is not here, but we do have a representative from the police department here. That was not who the prior question, who that was aimed at. Second, our police department was at the school. They were responsive. I'm not sure of the logistics behind how it all happened, but they were there and they do care. Our police do care about our community. Just because you don't see them doing things all the time doesn't mean that nothing is happening. You may not even be aware that they're doing something when you see them. They may be surveilling something or trying to get information for a case they're working on. They're very committed to our neighborhoods. They're very committed to our people. And that I just wanted to say those things. Those are the only comments I wanted to make. And as far as everything goes with the school board, you need to address the school board. This council has no control over the way they communicate or their operations. So if you have these concerns, you need to take them to the school board. But I do thank you all for your comments. If I can have a motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Egan.
Yes.
Councilmember Fleming.
Yes.
Council Vice President Escobar.
Yes.
Council President Socorro Ludwig.
Yes. Thank you, everyone.
Yep.
Good night.